AfricaWorldStar presents the top 10 richest countries in Africa 2015. Here is the top 10 richest countries in Africa as of 2015 ranked by GDP per capita. Algeria. Algeria is the second largest oil producer in Africa, and this accounts for the majority of the country's economy, generating 70% of total budget receipts. In addition to this, the country has an enormous supply in a number of minerals including iron, lead, copper, zinc, and mercury. Namibia. While Namibia is one of the richest countries in Africa, income is not evenly distributed, with half of the country's population living below the poverty line. The economy is dominated by the production of minerals, with Namibia being one of the richest places in Africa for strategic minerals. This is shown by their position as one of the world's highest quality producer of diamonds. Tunisia. The Tunisian economy is dominated by mining, manufacturing, and tourism, which portrays the diverse economic market within the country. The recent rise in tourism owes much to the country's position on the Mediterranean coast and the cheap cost in comparison to European countries that border the Mediterranean. Another factor is the different cultural experience, which has been an influx of Western tourists who want to experience a vibrant yet different culture. Libya. Libya's position as one of Africa's most prosperous countries owes much to two defining factors. Firstly, the country has huge oil revenues, which, coupled with a small population in comparison to its rivals, means it has a high GDP per person in comparison to the rest of Africa. Similarly to South Africa, Libya is also defined as an upper middle economy by South Africa. South Africa. South Africa is a dual economy with one of the world's highest inequality rates, owing much to the history of exclusion within the country. The South African economy is the second largest in Africa and the 28th largest in the world, leading to the World Bank to rank it as an upper middle income economy. This is, however, contrary to the fact that at least a quarter of the country's population is unemployed and living on less than $1.25 per day. Mauritius' place on the list owes very much to the attitude of its government. Since the country's independence in 1968, successions of governments have implemented free market economics, which have in turn created a highly competitive market. With no natural resources to exploit, Mauritius' economy has relied heavily on tourism, information technology, and financial services. A booming economy has seen the country also attract lots of foreign investors, seeing the World Bank rank it as a middle-income economy. Botswana. Since gaining independence in 1966, Botswana has had one of the world's highest economic growth rates. This has seen Botswana transform from one of the poorest countries in the world to a competent middle-income economy, owing to stringent fiscal discipline and management by the country's government. While the economy is dominated by diamond mining, there are also strong farming, tourism, and financial service sectors. Although the country is in rude financial health, it still has a long way to go to deal with HIV/AIDS within Botswana, with the country having the second highest adult prevalence rate in the world. Gabon. Although Gabon has declining oil production, it is still the fifth largest oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa. An over-reliance on the oil sector for the past 40 years has seen the country attempt to develop a more diverse economy to little success so far. The high oil production within the country has helped them to develop and advance the education system within the country. Although the oil reserves are running low, maintenance of the school system is beginning to suffer, with an alternative funding yet to be found. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea owes its high position on this list to a small population of just 700,000, which has also helped it to 32nd in the world in terms of gross domestic product per capita. While the country has a relatively low population, it has enormous oil reserves and is one of the largest oil producers in Africa. While many would believe this to be reflected in the country's living conditions, inequality is rife within the country, with the government and officials known for corrupt behavior. This means that while the country may rank highly on the list, the majority of the population actually live under the poverty line. Seychelles. With the highest gross domestic product per capita, the Seychelles is ranked as the richest country in Africa. The country is made up of 116 small islands with a population of just 92,000 as of 2012. This owes much to the ample opportunity for shipments and fishing due to a plethora of coastline. Furthermore, the country has long been known as a gateway for the rich and famous, meaning it contains numerous hotels and shopping resorts. Seychelles has the best beaches in Africa. And this is the top 10 richest countries in Africa as of 2015, brought to you by AfricaWorldStar.